It was a gorgeous one here in southern Maine today. I don't know about where you live, but I hope it was really nice. Today was sunny, today was dry, today was not too hot, not too cold. It was just right, is what some might call a Goldilocks kind of day. I turned off the sound to this. How is it not off? Why does it? See? All right. I think it's off now. Doesn't look off. There we go. That's totally off now. So there should be no feedback. That's really weird. It's weird how my desktop turned the volume back on. I'm not sure why I did that, but I did that one other time too. But I did double check it, but anyway. So anybody do anything fun tonight? Now, I don't know if you saw on Facebook or read a little bit about this live, but tonight is viewer's choice, which means I really couldn't decide what to do tonight. So I'm going to let you help me pick. Now, there's not a whole lot of people on right now. Well, there are some more people on. Where's Crash? Crash is not here, Sheila. I don't know where he is. He's probably in Peter's lap because that's the other place he really loves to be. But yeah, no Crash tonight hanging over my shoulder. It is kind of hot in this room too, which I'm surprised he's not here because you know how cats like it hot. But so as people are coming on, I would love if people would chime in on the chat. And I know not everybody logs in to view me, so you can't chime in if you're not logged in. But if you can tell me whether you would prefer to see a floral project tonight or a scenic or scenery project tonight. That's going to help me kind of figure out which way we're going to go. And then there'll be choices all along the way because tonight's viewer's choice. And I'm really trying not to work very hard and think very hard tonight. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So while I wait for people to maybe let me know, oh, Sheila chimed in scenery. I did tell Peter that I thought, I bet they're going to choose scenery tonight. And so far, 1 for 1. And I don't know who else is going to be able to chime in. So I'll just give it another minute or two. My choice was going to be making a bouquet out of the gallery blooms, which would definitely take more time. And there's ice cream at the end of this video for me, so probably gonna go with Sheila's pick, scenery. Or the other choice was using the beautiful gallery designer series paper and picking some scenery from there. So in that particular set, there's this one, which I think is, oh, Sam. I thought I heard my Crash jumping up, but I didn't. Sam's joining us. Thanks, Sam. I'm so glad that you're joining in too. So this one I think would make a beautiful winter scene here. It's not necessarily winter there. I don't really see snow or snow banks, but because everything's, you know, so neutrally colored, it kind of reminds me of winter. So that'd make a great winter card. We've got this one, which is a beautiful meadow. Let's see, we've got some other ones. I've already done one with this particular pattern, so I'm not going to do that one. And let's see. There's this beautiful mountain. I think I've done one of those too. Oh, and on the other side, there's another wintry kind of scene. And, oh, there's this one, which is a nice kind of bay scene. I don't know if that would be ocean or if that's just lake. It's probably ocean. I don't know. Although judging by those boats, yeah, it's hard to tell. I learned something today about boats. One of my friends who used to live in Florida, they moved back up here, and she mentioned something about their boat being a Florida boat. And I'm like, what do you mean a Florida boat? And the water, especially on the Gulf side, is much more shallow there. So on the bottom of the boat, you don't need such a V because the water is more shallow and it's calmer. So they're more flat bottomed. It's their current boat is not totally flat bottom, but it's less of a V. And so that's what she meant. It wasn't going to be as stable as some of the, some of the boats around here are. Let me just see if I can find any other sceneries that I want to kind of put into play. Did I put out this one? I love this one too. So we have those scenes that we're going to play with. And I'm going to show you a couple of different looks, I think. This is just kind of going off the top of my head, so we'll see if it works or not. All right, let me put some of those away. So we've got, which one should we do? So we've got kind of a wheat field. We've got boats. We've got a meadow. And we've got, I'm going to call it a winter scene. So cast your vote for boat, wheat, meadow, or winter. We're gonna do one of those. And in the meantime, I'm going to turn down my phone and we're gonna be able to work a little bit more. Whoops, seeing a mess on my desk. Let's see if we can just adjust this a little bit more. All right. Get rid of the little black edge that's over there. All right. And we'll turn it up just a tad. There we go. Let me bring my lights back down. So Sheila is saying wheat. This kind of is getting towards like the end of summer. It's an end of summer look, I think, right? Because it's, a wheat field and the farmers are haying in the wheat field. It is really very pretty and very calm and serene. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the Everyday Arches dies. Love these dies. They're currently on low inventory. And let's see. I'm going to, now I need to decide what color cardstock I'm going to use. And I got several of them out. Let's see. Mossy Meadow would look good on that. Pecan Pie would be good on that. Basic, oops, that's very vanilla. I don't want very vanilla. I want basic beige. Hold on, let me go across the room and get my basic beige. All right, so I've got some basic beige too. And let's see, I think what I want to do is I want a dark, I want a darker color. Maybe the Pecan Pie. And then on to either a card of basic beige or mossy meadow. We'll decide that when we come to it. All right, so now what I'm going to do, you know what? I'm probably going to do 2 cards here just so you can see the difference. And I'm going to cut the scene out using my arches dies, so it's like we're looking through a window. Let's see. We've got this window. It's not the largest window. So we can just position that however we want it. And I think when I position this, I want to position it so that, it's not just really, I don't know. This is split up into very equal thirds almost. I think I want to put it a little bit higher so that there's something in the sky that will give me a little area maybe where I can put a sentiment, or I can put one down here. So we're going to have to cut that. Now I don't want to waste it totally, so I want to trim it down before I put it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So let's cut off about, I don't know, about that much on that side. And that can go on the inside of the card to decorate. And now we're going to cut this with an arch. It is too tall, right? Because our card is going to be shorter, but we're die cutting. So we are fine just die cutting it the way it is. This also looks beautiful if you just, you know, you don't even need to use a die cut machine. You can just use some rectangles. That would be pretty as well. All right, so let's bring in our plates. We need a number 1 and we need a number 2. Hey Sheila, did you notice you got a fancy crown with a number 1 next to it? I think that's because you're my number 1 fan here on YouTube. I do appreciate that you're watching me on just about every Friday and playing along. Oh, and Sam too, of course. All right, so I'm gonna die cut that right here. Should have put it on an angle a little bit. Did you hear that big crack? That was because this is running parallel to the roller. It's not as good for the machine. I should have known that. All right, so now we have, oops, this. I'm gonna bring it back in just a second, but I wanna show you a couple things. If I mount this on here, I can just cut that so it is just a card front. And then let me see if I have 2 pieces here. I think one is a card front size and one is not quite. Yeah, I think this one's the card front size or card size. So let's make a card out of it. Yeah, there's 8.5 and there's 5.5. So we'll score this in half at 4 1/4. So I could cut this down so that it is 4 by 5 1/4, what is generally kind of a basic card layer on a front. This particular DSP pack makes it very simple to make some cards pretty quickly. I mean, you really don't even need to die cut a shape. And then you can get some pretty beautiful results. You could give a beautiful note card package to a friend that has all these beautiful pieces on it. So we have something that looks like that. Now, if I wanted to do something with this, I probably, you know what, I don't think I really like it on Mossy Meadow because it seems to just get kind of dark and dreary. And I don't think that this is a dark and dreary kind of seam. So let's cut this. This is our basic beige, and if you have not used basic beige yet, you should give it a try. It is just a beautiful neutral color. It's kind of near Very Vanilla. So here I have a package of Very Vanilla. You can see it's just a little bit more maybe of a stone color. I love it. But this is just a really pretty alternative. And we no longer carry Very Vanilla Thick. So it doesn't, the thin really, while you can use it as a card base, it's not a great card base. So here we have this. And if I were to keep it just like this, I would probably want to either emboss this back area here or stamp on it to make it a little bit more interesting. But I don't want to do either one of those right now. I'm going to die cut another arch. So I'm going to take the largest arch here, and you see how they nest perfectly. All the arches nest perfectly with one another. I'm going to take the larger one and I'm going to go ahead and cut that from the pecan pie. So if anybody is watching from another part of the country, Sheila's in a neighboring town, let me know what your weather's kind of like. Ooh, this one's barely fitting. I'm going to guess that Ruth is, it's in a plate. I'm going to guess that Ruth is not on here tonight, otherwise she'd be chiming in about the weather from Florida. She'll probably be chiming in during the replay, which she often does, and I also appreciate that. All right, let's see. And here we go. I barely fit that on there. Woo! It's a close call. So now if I take this, I have just a beautiful frame, and then it really does look like a window because it looks like, you know, the edge of the window that's sticking out here. And so look at how pretty that looks. Now we could still do something out here to make this a little bit more, I don't know, interesting. I don't know if I'd even call it that. Let me see what I've got for stamps over here. I've got my elements of text that I haven't used in a hot minute. And elements of text just has some beautiful writing in it. You know what? I think I'm going to put some of that on there. I'm going to take the larger stamp of all the text stamps in that set. Well, the one that's not circular anyways. Gonna see if I can figure out which side is up. This one is. It says all is silent, give the something, and interrupted murmury the. I'm sure it's from a poem. I just don't know what poem it's from. So I've read enough to know what's right side up though. So I'm gonna bring in this matching ink. So this is the basic beige ink. And it can be a little strong because my pad's very, very juicy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp off first. I just take a piece of scrap and I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm just going to add that second generation, is what we call it, to my card. Doesn't look like much. Just looks like a little something is there. So it gives that cardstock some texture. I think there's a little gap at the bottom too, so we'll do it over here. And I don't think there's too much on the sides. All right. There is a little room for something on the sides. I probably should have just stamped above it, but oh, I forgot that I didn't stamp off. Well, now I've kind of stamped off, haven't I? There we go. We'll make it work. Not a lot of it shows anyway. So now we will just adhere these two pieces together. Sheila, did you do some stamping today? Friday's usually her day off. Or at least part of Friday. All right, let's see here. So we have that, and then you can see just a little bit of something in the background that gives it the texture, just like the clouds have some texture, so does this part in the back. I'm not going to add any ribbon. In this kind of card, I think if I were to add a ribbon, I'd want to make it a hot dog fold so that it opens up like this. And I can easily wrap around the ribbon. I can't in this case. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this up on some dimensionals. So let me get my dimensionals out. I'm trying my best to use up some of the edges. It's so easy for me just to grab a new one when I'm struggling to find these on my desk. I really do want to just use up the ones I have first, because otherwise, once I open up a new one, my holder gets pretty full. All right, and so now we have that. And I could have, before I put it on dimensionals, I could have stamped something up here. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece of, let's try the basic beige. We can always do something else, but I'm going to try a little piece of basic beige for a sentiment layer. Now, it looks so much better up there than it does down here. I'm still going to make it work, I think. So we need to find a sentiment, and I didn't get any out. Let's see, I've got over here, sitting right next to me, the right words. Let's see. This looks like a thinking of you, or it could be a happy birthday, but I'm going to make it a thinking of you set or a card. Thinking of you right here. So we'll take that out. We'll put it on our block. And this looks like it needs to be, how big? Looks like I probably need it to be 3/4 of an inch wide and 2.5 inches long. So 3/4 of an inch. Let's try that, see if it works. I can trim it down manually. And I think we should use pecan pie for the ink. That kind of ties in the little border there. Not sure if it's going to be straight or not. Oh, yes, not too bad. Sometimes I get lucky. So I'm going to just trim it there. And we'll trim it there. I'm going to put that on right here. I mean, we could put it on right here too, but I think I like it over, right over here, right on the edge of this die cut, this patterned die cut. And I'm going to use dimensionals on it too. All right. So there we go. It's a pretty quick and easy card. If I wanted to get out some gems, we've got these neutral matte dots. Oh, by the way, I don't know if any of you noticed, but that this neutral matte dots went with the, oh, what's it called? I have it here. The Textured Notes bundle. And in that suite, there was an embossing folder, the corrugated embossing folder. Gone. It is gone for good. I am so surprised. It went pretty fast. And I'm sure it was slated for the last chance list that is coming out on Tuesday. But it did not make it to there. So they're just not going to renew it. And so if you didn't get a chance to get it, I'm sorry. It's gone now. And maybe we'll put another one here. Just keep them kind of low. So we've got that very, very simple card. Now, I think you'll like, let's do a different scene. I mean, I should do the same scene so you can compare the two. All right, twisted my arm. So now we need to get out that same pattern paper. Let's see if we can find it here. There we go. And what I'm going to do this time, I'm still going to use my Arches dies. I'm going to use that first one that I used to cut out the designer series paper here. But I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to cut it down to the same size or as a typical layer. So 4 by 5 1/4. So we're just going to go 4. I want to get this tall stuff in here. So I'm going to go 4, take a little bit off both sides. And then 5 1/4. I think I can take off. I'm going to take a little bit of the bottom off. I'm going to take a little bit of the bottom off, and I'm going to take a little bit of the top off. So 5 1/4. All right. So now I have that layer. Now we're gonna do the same kind of thing. So in order to compare, I'm gonna want the same card base, I think. So we'll do this at 4 1/4. Oh, I already did score it. Just couldn't see because it's so light. All right, there we go. Right, let me move this paper out of the way. And let's bring in our cut and emboss machine again. And I need to find that other arch. And bring in 1, 2, and 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut this. Kind of centering it as much as, or as best I can. Excuse me. I need ice cream. My throat got sore all of a sudden. I think it's dry. Ice cream will fix that. Pretty sure. Oh, speaking of ice cream, what's your favorite ice cream? Mine is not where I can't get it where I'm going, but mine is coffee cookies. That's my favorite. But where I'm going, I'll probably have mocha chip, maybe, if we go to Scoop Deck. And if we go to Big Daddy's, I don't know what I'll have. Sometimes they have some interesting flavors. I mean, Scoop Deck does too. All right, so I'm going to very carefully remove this little piece of tape. You can use that some other time. And I'm going to keep both of these pieces. And now what I'm going to do is adhere this directly to the card base. Just get a little bit of adhesive there. All right. So we'll just put that in there. Get that centered. That's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then we're going to take this, and this is what we're going to put up on dimensionals. So let's see, do I have some more? These are little baby dimensionals. I still had a little bit left on this one. So let's go ahead and put this up. And then this one's in good shape. And I don't have any other partials that aren't the small ones. So this is gonna be good. I'm gonna be fairly liberal here because it is just a little thin piece and there's not a whole lot else going on the card. I want to make sure it all kind of sticks up in the air. No sagging allowed. All right. And we're just going to put this, we're going to fill the hole. So it looks, oops, come on. See, sometimes if you twist it, you can get a better grip on it and save it. All right, there we go. So it's just really kind of an interesting look. And what you can do is you can do another one as well. And I can see I cut a little crooked, but you get the idea. And if I go ahead and I cut another piece for the sentiment, I think this time I'm going to use, I know I was trying to keep them similar, but I'm going to use Mossy Meadow this time. I really like Mossy Meadow. And look, there's a Mossy Meadow. So let me just see if I can, you know what? We're just going to clean it by stamping off and off and off and off and off and off and off. My Mossy Meadow is dark enough so that I can get away with this. Let's go ahead and, oh, look, nice and straight and centered. As from vertically, centered vertically. There we go. So I'm gonna put this right here. And you know what? Let's I know I'm changing it again from the original, but let's go ahead and take some twine here. And we're just gonna kind of wrap it. I can't get it off my fingers. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I can't get ice cream because I'm stuck with the twine. So we can put this under here a little bit. I don't like it quite so messy though. Let's see if we can do this again and get it off a little bit nicer. Okay, there we go. And what I like to do is I pinch the center here, and that's where we're going to kind of angle it down there. And once I pinch the center, I can go ahead and take a dimensional. You know what? I don't really want to do a dimensional because I don't want it to stick up. I'm going to take some tear and tape. This is wide tear and tape. It is leftover from a paper pumpkin kit. I'm just going to put some of this right here in the back. And take this off. And I can kind of stick that right there to the back, just like that. And then I can come in with my dimensionals and put one on either end, each end. Okay, there we go. So we have something that looks like that. And then I am gonna come back in with the little doodads, these little guys. I think I'm gonna use, I know I am changing it up quite a bit, but I'm gonna I'm going to put these around instead of the pecan pie ones. Gee, Sharon, how come you're not using your take your pick tool? That's a really good question. I don't know. It's right there. I see it. All right. And so we have two different looks, but I really like how interesting this looks with just the cutout piece popped up a little bit. But two different looks, both pretty, and both very, very simple. All you really had to do was die cut. And you know what you could have done to save a little bit of time? If you wanted to make 2 of these cards, say, or even 4 of these cards, you could take 2 of these DSPs at a time and die cut them. And so then it would be a very, very quick project. I could make 4 of these cards with just 2 passes of my die cutting machine very easily. But that's what we have for scenery cards or scenic cards tonight. Thanks for joining me. Now, if you haven't heard, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, my clubhouse, my August clubhouse features the sunflower embossing folder, which is currently on back order, but it will be in time for my class, and I already have some anyways for my class. But this one, which is a one I started for my Thursday lunchtime look, I finished another one. It's around here somewhere. But this is the featured product on the August Clubhouse. And so if you would like to join that class, I will have the link in the description of this video. The deadline to sign up for this is August 10th, and you have to do it through the link. So, hi Ruth, glad you could join us. I was talking about you earlier. I don't know if you noticed, but I just noticed that Sheila said hello to you, and then I looked up and oh look, there's Ruth. So anyway, these were the scenery cards that we created. If you are interested in the sunflower, make sure that you register for the Clubhouse class by next Sunday, the 10th. Have a great week, everybody. I will see you later.